If you hit more on the bottom, you have the option to,
More. Oh,
and then you can pause and stop recording there.
and then I can
You hit pause, stop recording.
pause,
Yep, and it gives you the option to pause.
stop recording.
Pause.
It's almost time anyway. Are you all set to go there, Corinne?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you for
Um,
checking.
Oh, there, it's on the bottom now.
Yeah, I know, it's okay, we are recording.
That's
them.
nice. So-
Yeah, it's easier than trying to get that button.
That little tiny
Copy,
button, yeah, thank
I
you
thought
for
with that this
pointing that
morning.
out now, so.
Is that an upgrade? Is that
I-
or an
They're
update?
always
I
changing
think
these
it's an
things.
update.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found it this morning with the Lister meeting when I was trying to find it.
Okay,
Hmm.
well, we'll just give it a couple more minutes. And you said LCATV, there's gonna be.
They're already in. They're, oh, you can't see it, but Michael is there.
Okay. All right,
Yep, ready to go.
all right. How you doing there, Michael?
I'm doing well, Carl. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna call the North Hero Select Board. To order January sixth, 2025, approximately 5:15 PM. For the order, are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none. Approved bills for payment. Everybody look over the warrant for January 6th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the January 6th warrant. Second.
Harry makes the motion to approve, Joe seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. I'll pass this around for signatures. You'll end up with it, Joe, and then put it in Corinne's file. Sure. Okay. All right, financial snapshots.
I have a quick question.
Yep, and can you refer to, because this is actually nicely done here, I love the pages. So if there's any questions on all this paperwork, if we could refer to a page number, that would be great.
Okay. We're on page 3, moving right along. Where does the PBRA show up?
It does not.
It does not, should it, or
They're not our funds. We just hold their funds.
We
We're just the custodian of their funds.
okay, because I think they do have a balance.
They do have a balance. They're on the balance. Do you want me to add it? I can add it to their, I can add it to this if you want to see it. Maybe. Don't have any.
It would seem more
authorization.
complete, I guess.
Okay, sure.
What do you think? Anybody?
Well, that's fine with me. We are the
Just
custodian of
because
it.
if the vote passes, they get the 10 grand. Okay.
All right, any questions there with the financial snapshots? Balance sheet, as of January 2nd, 2025. Lisa, chime in there at any point in time. Okay. All right. Any questions on the balance sheet? Budget status? Anybody else? Any questions on the budget status?
No, we're about halfway through the fiscal year and it's mostly tracking.
Correct. Okay. At this point in time, there is time for public comment. If anybody from the public would like to make a comment, there is none on this agenda. They can make their comment and we can consider it for future agendas. Any public comment? Hearing none. Public Works. Tracy Dewar, you're up.
Yeah, I'd just like to introduce the new public works assistant, Michael Air. Yes, he kind of helped with my lieutenant. So far, everything's doing great. No arguments.
Anyway,
Just in time for plowing, huh?
Done that once already.
Yeah. Well, welcome aboard. It's great to have.
Thank you. Just a further update of other things, as you know, the truck was down 1 or 2 weeks ago. We got that's repaired. It's that, I think that's part of your.
Is that the tandem?
Yep,
that's
that's-
the-
What's a this is my.
The big red truck.
it's tandem axle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a tandem was.
Yeah. Just big truck, sets it,
Okay.
tires.
Um,
So that's all up and running and like, two everything done, fixed on it at the same time, so that's in good shape. Good. Michael and I, we did cut the speed bumps out on Bridge Road that we had.
We cut one out, right?
Cut one out, yeah, the
Cut
other
one.
one, they get cut out. Patch it back in,
Right,
yeah, they can resolve that,
all right. Do you have that plan there to cut the other one out?
yeah. A little bit
Okay.
warmer weather.
Right, yeah, I mentioned that to somebody there, somebody that had complained previously,
Yeah,
and I said that'll be done when it gets just a little bit warmer.
yeah, I'm not sure if we can access any stone.
Says it's 1,000 times better already, just the way it is with that one being cut out.
Cut out,
So,
yeah. Yeah.
So, he thanked you very much.
We did,
I noticed it myself.
yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah, I tried to get it as smooth as possible.
Yeah. Hardly even notice it anymore.
Right, right. So, yeah, it's, there's no snow or anything happening, you're gonna continually trimming trees back and roadside mowing and keeping up on a few other beaver issues that may have arise,
Same spot.
different spots.
Okay.
they moved.
Yeah, one on Bridge Road, down near your place, right across the road from your place, actually, we're farther east. So we gotta keep an eye on that. There is a little hut started in, that's on private property once again. Hopefully, but yeah, we unclogged the culvert and that. Set a gush of water to the culvert drain.
I noticed the water backing up there.
It's Jim Barber's property. That's true, that's the name of it, Barber's, yeah. Yeah, we gotta keep an eye on that.
Okay,
The crossing now, so.
I think that's what my dog's been focused on in the front yard. He usually goes out back.
Yeah.
There's a beaver running around at night.
Yeah.
Maybe he's after.
okay, anything else there, Tracy?
Good shape, yeah. I will get that mileage certificate, right there for the Carl.
Yep.
Supporting document off for.
Yep.
Guys next time.
All right, sounds good.
The same as last year, you think?
It is,
The
yeah, the
same.
roads have changed, your mileage has changed,
Mhm.
so it's just revamping, signing it.
Okay. All right, moving along. Treasurer. Okay, Lisa, and this is, so we'll pull that up on the screen here. Finalize the fiscal year 25-26 budget. Hopefully, everybody has taken a look at that. There's some questions, however, I think those questions, for the most part, on my end and possibly on Claire's end, have been resolved.
So there were 2 errors in, from what you had seen. One, I caught, well, there were 2 changes. One was an error and I caught before your packet went out and corrected, which was the increase in the healthcare insurance for the general office. And Claire questioned the increase. And in doing that and researching that, there was an error in the short-term and long-term disability lines. So it kind of balanced each other out. So Karen, can you bring it up? So even though your budget shows an increase of about $10,000, the short-term and long-term disability went down about 10,000, so. And half of it was public works and half of it was for general. So that's both reflected. I think we're good.
Yes. So even though it says, it went up 27%, it didn't, it went up 17 point something
17.83,
percent.
yeah.
Only 17.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's-
know, I know.
And that's vision, dental, health, and long-term, short-term disability and life insurance. So, so I think if you go to the total page, the total budget page again. On the bottom, the tab for total. Yeah, we're back to 5.61 using the surplus that we talked about the last meeting.
Correct.
So I think your sheets say 6 point something. But with those two corrections, it's back down 5.61.
Okay,
And the only thing that's outstanding is the county.
just the county,
County.
Right. right, and, just to update you all on that there, Lisa has until, what, the 15th of January to get the revised grand list to the county,
State.
or to the state there, and then they have until the 17th, we're supposed to get our number on the 17th. So in the past, there, Corinne, you can fill everyone in there. In the past there, we kind of used a number. Correct? For the county budget,
We
or,
haven't had an actual county budget number
Correct.
when the budget was finalized.
I didn't look up how we
how we resolved it,
allocated a
but,
placeholder.
yeah.
That's why I'm looking at Lisa, because I thought, but.
Well, we do have a number there from the county. I expect that number because our grand list went up. And also, they had mentioned at the county meeting that they had not factored in an increase in training for the sheriff's department. So my guesstimate there is that we're probably shooting for about $2,000 more than what they've presented to us, which was a little bit less than last year. But if we add the 2,000 there, we're gonna be a little bit higher, so. Does everybody else, anybody else have any questions there on the 25-26 budget?
We do not.
I do not.
No.
Nope.
All right, well, then I'll entertain a motion to finalize it.
I'll make a motion to finalize the 25-26 budget.
And Claire seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Fiscal year 26 budget changes.
That's just the recap of the.
That's just a
changes. Yeah.
recap there of what we did. Yeah. Okay. All right. Select board working budget.
We have CDs. We have two CDs.
Maturing CDs there. We have two, and we actually have another one coming up for February.
Early February, yes. The North Station building replacement, CD number 1 has about 213,000. And the reappraisal has about 107,000. They are both maturing in the next week or two. The terms are 1 month is a 3.99%. 2 month is 4.02. A 3-month term is 3.97. 4 month is 3.93. 5 is 3.90, and 6 is 3.87. That's all they are offering now.
Okay,
Lisa, can you give me the page number?
That's not in your book.
that's not in there.
Oh, okay.
Can you give me those percentages from the 4 and 5, 6 months?
4.6, so 4 months is 3.93. 5 month is 3.90. And 6 month is 3.87. highest rate right now is a 2-month at 4.02.
Which ones are up for?
North Station Building Replacement Committee number 1,
21st.
and then the reappraisal one on the 13th. And the cemetery is also on the 22nd, but they're gonna.
I looked at it earlier. Is there a page for the CD listings?
It's on your financial snapshot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Back in here.
I mean, I think the reappraisal. I suspect that rates aren't gonna go up. I mean, it might make sense to lock in at 3.9 for 6 months there.
3.9 is a 5-month rate,
Oh,
6-month is 3.87.
3.87.
I'd be shooting for what, the 5? You wanna do a 5 or? I'd almost be tempted there to just do the 6.
It's
The financial snapshot.
snapshot.
page
Right.
3.
Page 3. There
Mhm.
we go.
And the rates aren't there.
Okay.
I think I agree with you, Carl. We do the 6 months for the reappraisal and I don't know if we wanna do the, I think NSBRC, I don't think we have any planned expenditures, any significant ones within 6 months, do we?
No, I don't foresee. I don't foresee that happening. 6 months, that puts us into June. I mean, we'll be entertaining,
Well, that's the public works.
oh,
Yeah, the fire station is now called fire station.
oh. Oh, that's the public works,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the public works right now.
public works building. Well, being there that one comes after the other, I would say that 6 months there would be safe.
But the 6-month rate is a little bit, it probably wouldn't make much difference at all. It's lower than the 5-month rate, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, 3,
by 0.03.
I mean, I think if we're, I mean, basically, the reason I'm inclined to go with the 6 months is because in 6 months, we may have, a more significant drop than what's available. We could have it 3.
correct.
You can make the first one in 6 months and then wait on the second. I know, 2, 3. Yeah, we have another meeting.
Well, if that one is public works, I'd say 6 months is fine on that one. The reappraisal.
I think 6 months is fine on that one too. I mean, we're
Right.
years away
Yeah,
from
yeah,
reappraisal.
Mhm.
Yeah, so,
I mean, I'll make a motion that the NSBRC number 1 CD with approximately $213,000 is reinvested in a 6-month CD at 3.87%.
do I have a second?
Second.
Joe seconds that. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
I'll also make a motion that the reappraisal fund with approximately 107,000 is reinvested in a 6-month CD at the rate of 3.87%.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Joe seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
I just don't see it going up.
no,
and who was the second on those?
Joe,
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
okay. So you'll take care of that end of it, Lisa,
Take care of that. Yes.
and then. And the
And we meet on
cemetery,
the 3rd, so that's when the next one is due,
the 3rd,
February.
that's a cemetery,
Nope, that's the NSBRC number 2.
oh, number 2.
Yeah.
Well, we meet on the 20th.
Yep, and we meet again on the 3rd, and I don't need to tell her for the 4th. right? We have a meeting on this,
Correct.
so we can. Or do you want to do it now?
Will the rates change at the beginning of next month?
Good. Especially after the inauguration.
But when we have to pull it out early to reinvest it right now, when we have to wait for the new rate?
I can tell her that we're insurers to reinvest it.
Yeah, but couldn't the rates change between now and then?
Could very possibly.
I think it would all depend on when the money is needed.
Can I ask just a quick question there?
Yeah.
For say the fire station. You bring it to vote, say March, for instance.
Yeah.
Gets voted down. Are you interested or entertaining the thought of still pursuing the public works building? I mean, I know you're in a discussion of building the fire station first and then.
Yeah.
That's there, that way building.
Right. Right.
Per se, that gets voted down, if there's funds out, obviously, we haven't gone to bid.
Well,
Yeah.
that would require,
Is that a?
well, anything's a possibility, but, well, the whole point was to try to keep the fire station or the fire vehicles, their apparatus, their house. And
You need that one first then, in a sense.
well, in essence, the way that it's set up now, that's correct.
Yeah. I think you need that,
And we'd actually looked into perhaps flip-flopping things. However, what they require for space does not fit on the public works site. So that becomes almost a moot point now, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's really, you know, when we're ready, to take it to a bond vote,
Right.
we're hoping there for a positive vote. And,
Yeah.
and then we can proceed.
Right.
So. Does that answer everything for you there, for the time being, Tracy?
Yeah, I never gave, trusts continuing to need housing.
Yeah, okay.
Simple thing, but I didn't think of it.
So going back to. Well, we're gonna put that on our next one, the 20th.
Well, we can put it on the third.
Or on the 3rd.
Yep.
That gives you time to,
Yep, I'll have to let it know it's on.
okay, all right,
So that works. So we'll bring it up again on the third. I'll have new rates
okay,
for the third.
all right, super. Super. And the cemetery commission, they have one due in February.
No, theirs is due, the 22nd, and Frank said they had already discussed it at their last meeting, and they're gonna roll that over for another 6 months.
Okay. Okay, okay. Delinquent tax collection.
Yes, so per 32 VSA 51, 62, and 63, the delinquent tax collector is supposed to give a statement of the taxes as of December 31st to the treasurer, seeing as I am old.
Give yourself the,
I gave myself the report, Corinne notarized it, and that's just in your packet as a FYI, that's where we are as of December 31st. By February 5th, we have to provide that to the auditor, if we had town auditors, which we don't, so it's gonna go to that. So we can verify the numbers, but that's where 11,000 is outstanding for 23-24.
Mhm.
And one is on a payment plan that should be paid off in January. This what this thing is on, so I think there's 7 on there, so we bring it down to 6. And the top one is less than $100, and it's bringing that to a tax sale. And the fees would be the one, fees would be more than.
Right. All right,
And mortgage companies, there's one property with a mortgage and they were notified last year.
okay,
That's where we are.
all right, well, considering that our. And this is there, and if this is all without standard, it's. Not that bad. Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right, now we get into the fun stuff. Municipal Code of Ethics Act 171. As you're well aware there that passed into law. With an ethics commission. And we are required to comply and to have an ethics policy. So,
We got no choice, right?
well, not at this point in time unless it's repealed.
Yeah.
Um,
Are we going to appoint a, liaison and a designated complaint recipient?
yes, we have to.
Okay.
Corinne had offered her services for that last meeting, I believe. Or was that just our conversation between?
No,
the
that
two
was
of
a
us?
recommendation, that it
recommendation.
needs to be.
Just
an
because
employee.
everything comes through the office.
The way I've read the law, it should be an employee.
Yeah.
And the employee on the books that makes the most sense is the select board executive assistant.
I read that too.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Mhm. It makes sense, and we can have a backup. When you can see here, municipal officer, so. We go down through this, I mean, that covers pretty much everybody here.
And the way I read the law, the liaison is expected to interface with the public and the ethics commission. And the designated complaint recipient is supposed to hear the allegations. So it'd be like a DRB and a DRB clerk.
mhm.
So I'd prep the information and you all would review it and a decision would be made.
All right,
I'll make a motion to designate Corinne Julo as the ethics liaison.
Second.
any further discussion? Corinne?
No, yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I will update the job description.
All right.
So,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion that the select board is designated as the designated complaint recipient to receive complaints alleging violations.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Claire seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. All right.
You need a motion for the municipal code of ethics?
Well, VLCT model. Corinne, just, could you walk us through that? We have the municipal code of ethics action items, well, we already dealt with that, the VLCT model ethics ordinance. And if you're all aware, the VLCT was actually a good first to begin with, and but they've had to comply with this also. So,
So, I think, so the way I understand this is we already have a copy of the municipal code of ethics approved by the legislature. We need to post it to the website.
Yeah.
So, I presume that will be done at some point.
Yep.
We need to adopt procedures and post those. And we need any ordinances, rules, or personnel policies regarding ethics adopted by the municipality.
Mhm. Yep.
To be posted.
I believe, as the new liaison, that I can take care of all of the items on this list except for the, enactment of the ethics ordinance. And that would take care of the town of North Yarmouth's procedures for the investigation and enforcement of complaints. And so I have also included VLCT's template.
Yeah.
I did not update it. I was unclear what direction the board was gonna go in. So I didn't want to invest time in it. So I think what you'd want to do is task me with updating this to include all of North Heroes information. And then at the next meeting, I would submit that along with the ordinance enactment template. There's a few steps involved in approving an ordinance. It's not difficult. It just takes a
Okay, so you will take care of that end of it there, Corinne?
Yep.
I mean,
Okay,
I think at this point, if we adopt the VLCT model ethics ordinance, we'll at least know that. We have what should be the minimum necessary to comply with legislative change and, we'll see how this develops over time. So I get no.
do we have a motion there to accept the model ethics ordinance?
I would wait till we have
You
a
wanna wait till
true
you wanna
draft.
fill it in?
Yeah, there's an adoption form and a warning period
Okay.
for
Right,
ordinance
60
to truly
days.
be,
or-
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So we want to make sure that it's clear to the public at what point the true draft was approved.
okay.
For this, I don't think
You're
this would be like.
gonna that on the,
And then
Well,
when we
20th.
vote, it will go into effect or not, but
It'll start the warning period.
Okay.
There'll be 60 days for the public to request a vote if they so wish.
all right. Then that one. Liquor licenses, authorize the town clerk to approve and sign special event caterers, special venue, festival. And educational sampling permits.
So moved. Second.
Harry makes the motion. Tim seconds the motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right. Annual meeting, warning draft. 2025. Of course. We will get numbers plugged into this. Does anybody find anything, I mean, with these appropriations, I said it before and I'll say it again, and I would hope there that some of these institutions here, or whatever you wanna consider them there, that they would be present at the informational meeting to answer any questions regarding their requests.
I have it on my to-do list when the warning is finalized to send them all an invitation.
Okay,
I'm going to wait till
thank you.
At this point, we are waiting, we've finalized the budget, so I'll add the first 4 articles, the budget numbers will be added. We're waiting, the library is gonna meet February 10th, and then we'll be able to update their request to move its operating surplus to, is it gonna be operating surplus? I guess we don't know, we'll know that on Friday. To their capital reserve fund. I had Mike Tarrant review the 2 articles that we wordsmithed and discussed at length at our last meeting, and he had no issues with how they were worded. So one being, I don't have the warrant
I
right in
think
front
it's
of me.
14 and 17.
Mhm.
Yeah,
14 will get updated too, just in case. Because you
updated.
have a number in there.
Well, that was the number we discussed at length and input last time, and that wouldn't be up to Tarrant to make any changes to. So if you want an
Actually, I
update,
agree.
then we should discuss that.
Yeah, because it was approximately 15%. That wasn't exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, we focused on the number and not the percentage.
Yeah.
and although we had quite a bit of back and forth on this one, because he was curious what the intent was. And he did recommend a policy. He said the way this is worded, it doesn't lock the select board into anything. I told him we were trying to word it to avoid a policy, and he said, well, that's. That was his recommendation, that a policy would be clearest.
And I think that's the intent of the board. I think with this being the first allocation of monies into the contingency reserve fund, we wanted to have a year of operations under our belt to see if 15% was excessive or inadequate.
Yeah.
And after that year of analysis is complete, we'll be able to at least have more of a foundation to decide whether or not we want a policy for based on a percentage based. So
Yes, that is correct, Carrie, thank you. Okay. Well then, in the draft, so we'll take care of that one at our next meeting there. You'll plug in the numbers.
Numbers for the
we can
budget
go ahead, yeah.
and the library,
the
everything
library,
else, unless I hear otherwise from you, is ready to go.
Okay, well, I have no
Anything
objections
else?
to the way that is laid out here. Does anybody else have any?
Any
Additions
typos, and
or-
the more eyes, the better before it goes to the
Yeah.
public, so. And if you see any, when you go home or read it tomorrow, let me know.
Okay, well, at this point in time,
Okay,
give a thumbs up for me. Okay, now appointed positions. The notice. 2025.
I put Joe's name up next to Carl's.
just, how are you? I was like, what did I do?
He's vice chair,
Yeah.
you should be up at the top.
Oh, I see, okay.
Okay,
I probably copied and pasted something, and-
Okay.
okay, yeah,
all right, there we go. That one suggestion.
we got a suggestion. It's nice to have input, Carl.
Yeah,
It's nice to-
all right, appointed positions.
So-
So, notice, yes.
Yes, every year, we have a policy that requires boards to advertise that positions are available. And this is to prevent incumbents from just rolling over year after year after year without the public ever knowing that there's an opportunity to throw your name in the ring. Because, well, I won't go down a rabbit hole. That's the purpose. And so in the past, I've just done it, but this year, we have a couple of active subcommittees that I wanted your feedback on if they should be added. You know, if our annual reorganizational checklist, we'll go through the checklist, and one of the items is to review the subcommittees under our subcommittee policy. And determine if that subcommittee is going to continue, and if so, who's going to be on it. And if we wanted those positions to be advertised in this notice along with the standard positions.
I think it makes sense
Okay,
if the subcommittees continue.
well, I guess that's the this is kind of a
Right.
court and
Horse
horse
and cart.
question, yeah, chicken and egg. And we just haven't had subcommittees stick around. But I guess North Station's been around forever, and it just kind of fell under the, well, we didn't used to have a subcommittee policy, that's new too. So,
I guess, in order of priority, at that first meeting, if we're reviewing the subcommittees and decisioning whether or not they need to continue. We could also, just gather our data set in that discussion about what needs to be advertised for.
so we would do like a second advertising process if we decide for the subcommittees to
Fourth
continue.
subcommittees.
So that's again, chicken and egg. Do you want me to throw those two committees on this advertisement and have that information ready for you? Or should we wait until you decide if the subcommittee should continue and then advertise?
At the first select board meeting. The board acts to fill vacant town offices by appointment. At this time, town commissioners will submit names. Prior to submission of candidates to the select board, the commission, committee, or board will place a notice. So is the advertising for the other appointed positions going to occur before our first meeting?
Mhm. Yeah, it'll happen after this meeting. Give people enough time to to consider and submit a letter of interest. And so what I do is I send all boards that operate by appointment, I send them a notice saying these are your positions that are up. The select board will review their second meeting in March. I will be putting this notice around town and the Islander to meet the appointment policy requirement of advertisement, but your board should be handling the review and submission of names to the select board. It was easier when I just did it, right?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I'm just thinking to myself,
I almost did. I almost just threw the subcommittees on there, but I'm sorry, Harry.
It's like, what makes more sense? Moving forward, our analysis of whether or not subcommittees are gonna continue. And
Mm.
having that discussion around this time of year,
Mm,
so that we aren't advertising for positions that may or may not exist,
and have people, volunteers wasting time.
and have volunteers wasting time, or like you've suggested, delaying those decisions until after our first meeting, and then having a separate round of advertising just for subcommittee appointments.
Okay.
I think it's too late for us to go through door number one.
Well, let's see, if we put off the notice, so if we added that discussion to the January 20th agenda, and I still was able to notify all the boards by the beginning of February, that's a month and a half. That's, to me, that's still enough time, just because,
I don't know, what is the board? I don't know. What's there my thing? Advertise for it all. Now, after we make a decision about whether subcommittees are gonna continue. I mean, we know.
Well, I guess we gotta. In the subcommittees. We have the building replacement. We have shorelands protection.
the hazard mitigation plan, we just have a lot right now. In the past, we not.
So the hazard mitigation plan, though, once that's done, we're still supposed to keep a group of people together, but it doesn't.
It's not structured that way currently.
Right.
But I agree with you, but the board would have to take action, so it could do that. It could in March, just make that a standing committee.
Mhm.
That would cross one of those off the list.
Capital improvement is another one, right?
That's now a standing committee, it's not a subcommittee. Yep. We have a lot of committees. Yes.
I mean, maybe we can continue this discussion at our next meeting. And I get a full list of all the subcommittees. And make a decision then.
Yeah, that works for me. I still, if I get these notices out by the beginning of February, I think March 20th is the meeting. That's plenty of time, I think, for the public and the boards. Because the boards, why do I get it out so early? Probably because some boards meet earlier and some meet later in the month. You want to make sure they all have at least one meeting to review. Does that work for a lot of them?
That's on their agenda for next week.
Yeah, okay,
They do their own notice.
yeah.
Would it be helpful to get a statement from the subcommittee chair?
Yes,
About their vision of whether they're gonna continue or not?
that's what I was just thinking, is getting something from the chairs to show valuation of each committee
Or plans for the.
or plans for the committee,
Yeah,
what the
I think that
direction
would be
is.
helpful to me to have a statement from the chair.
Okay,
Yeah, because they're all gonna meet.
well, if we review it January 20th, they won't all meet before then, but each chair should be able to.
But if we could notify the
Help together on
chairs,
something.
I mean,
Yeah.
the chair of those boards there, I mean, there's. One, two, three,
Yeah, and just, and it could be as simple as this is where we are and this is what we've got left to do.
right,
It doesn't have- It doesn't have to be extreme.
right.
Give us,
That's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
are we doing this?
Okay, and then next year, I'll bring it to you earlier, if we're in the same
Yeah.
boat.
No, that's fine, that's,
Some committees.
No, I
Okay.
mean, the statement would, I think would be helpful for other subcommittees because the replacement, north end. A station can be, we're not done, we're gonna continue on, you know, that kind of thing, and that will just. Give us a clue of where,
Yeah, I mean, the North Station and hazard mitigation are pretty obvious. They have concrete poles and they're not there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Shorelands is the one that,
Shorelands is one there that it's when we hear from the chair because. That we don't know whether or not they have reached. Their so-called goal here of educating the public and whatever, so. But if it comes down to it there and they say, well, we've done that and therefore
Yeah,
we're gonna disband or whatever, that's fine.
Mhm.
So, I believe that's Tom Bristle and there was the share of that. Okay. So, okay, yeah, if we could just notify the chairs of those boards, that'd be great.
Can we
And-
advertise for zoning administrator if we have a contract?
so there was no term set with her appointment. I went to the minutes and looked it up. And it is pointed, it's in the statute that the select board has to approve whoever it is, no matter how she's hired, because she has statutory authority. And so I was gonna recommend that. That is odd, but I was looking at the policy and I'm like, they're gonna have to reappoint her because of the way the last motion was made. And then this time, perhaps a term be set and maybe talk with Mike Curtis of the Planning Commission around that.
When does the contract run?
Right, when does the
Yeah.
contract, come? That's,
Oh, yeah, I was confused around the contract. So yeah, that would be a lot easier than contacting Mike Curtis. I'll have that information for you.
okay,
So,
'cause I think we signed that back.
Is
Back
it
a
for
while
a
ago,
year?
yeah.
Is it for a fiscal
I don't
year?
remember.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I can look it up, but I don't.
Yeah,
it's,
okay. All right, so you have your appointed positions notice.
Because the other
okay.
interesting thing with the appointed positions was when we created the capital improvement plan, we neglected to give
Sure.
any member any terms.
Right.
Yeah, so they've all got to be reappointed in this year. I'd like to make sure they have terms.
Yeah, Yeah.
So,
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
yeah,
and then according to this appointment policy, we can put a notice in the Islander. And
that's,
then also do front porch forum or whatever, but,
that's what we're, yeah. Yeah, so you have a copy of the notice.
Yeah.
That, do you not? But, I intended to give you a draft version.
yes.
Yeah,
we do.
so that's what it is right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Um. The only thing we don't have on the top of this list, the tree warden is, I mean, the only thing we don't have is the Northwest Communications District representative, right?
Thought that was on there.
It is on there,
It is.
but we don't have the
Oh,
people.
it's vacant, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they would really like to have somebody. I got another email from
Yeah.
them today. They email every quarter and I'm not finding some. I can't say I've been actively recruiting, but they are very.
I thought we
eager.
had,
We had two.
John McNamara,
yeah.
and Lisa Fearing,
and
Metamana,
Lisa-
thank
and
you.
Lisa Fear.
Yeah.
Yes, and Metamana just had other obligations, and Lisa had no interest.
And that committee must be, that's been 2 years, right? So that's,
I think it's been a little more than that,
has it, okay.
but
Okay, so
I
we
think they're
need,
doing some really robust work. Metamana really enjoyed it.
yeah,
But yeah, they would really like local representation as they get closer to implementation.
okay, well, if we'll keep your feelers out for somebody that's into that,
This needs to go to Joe.
that's into that stuff there.
Our priorities are lister. Nobody wants to be a lister.
That's a big one. Okay. All right. Have we finished up on that line item? Select board report,
So I updated the report to include the, under the bullet about the office restructure, there's now an explanation that you created this select board executive assistant
Mhm.
in addition to the transference of the treasurer duties. I added the signature lines.
That's great.
Do all of the percentages track, or will those have to be updated?
I compared that to the update that was in this agenda. And then tracked on Friday. So, with the recent changes, some of which were made today, I don't know. So I was hoping you would sign it today. Should we? Otherwise, we can review it and you all can just stop by.
Has when's it going to the printer?
I hope to have this thing wrapped up next Wednesday.
Okay, so we need to have this done by.
Yeah, this is the last board report I'm waiting on.
Okay.
Right.
So we shouldn't sign it with these numbers, because you said that you based it on the
The budget.
budget that was included in our packet,
Yes.
which just came down $10,000. So
Just make, I think, I would agree with Claire, let's make sure that the percentage is tracked, and then we can all just swing by the opposite side.
Yep,
I'll send out an email when it's ready.
Okay.
Do you mind electronic signatures?
I don't, no.
I do. I don't know how to do that.
You're in.
I'll send it to you first.
If you send it to
And
me
then
first.
print
I'll
it so that
sign.
they can all stop and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
okay,
can do it first thing in the morning.
Okay,
Just with Evelyn's schedule, it can be tough.
yeah.
all right. Okay,
Tomorrow.
take care of that.
Well, I won't have the numbers up tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We're gonna do this after the meeting.
All right.
Yeah. So-
Just let me know when.
Okay.
Just let me know when, so I can swing by
I'll
afterward.
send you an email.
Okay,
Yep,
so we
tomorrow,
have,
be soon.
we have the executive assistant monthly report. Has everyone taken a look at that?
Thank you, Corinne.
Thank you. Okay, correspondence. DRB. For that, that one. Public hearing, you have that. Night Point State Park, land use permit, that's for the pickleball courts, that appears to be going through.
You may wish to inform the NRB that Pete was no longer the township.
I did,
Yes, well, there's,
Well, they have been sending all of the emails to a defunct email.
Oh,
So,
they have not been updated there because there's also a number of other issues in here when Andre Quinton was the chair.
I don't know what database they're getting, but after every election and every appointments, the Secretary of State's office and VLCT and other entities get updated contact lists. And I'm not going to hunt down each individual state department and.
Too bad that they're
their
only,
contact
they're
info.
only
I
about
don't-
6 years behind
Yeah,
or better. Okay. All right, and then we have the North Hero State Park Historic Preservation Comment Letter.
I don't quite understand that because those buildings were, or some of the buildings there were designated historical buildings, and now they're gonna tear them down. So this is, okay,
I don't, yeah, this was CC'd. I think they were required to CCS. But it's the Department of Historic Preservation making a comment on this Act 250 application. Which we have not participated in, so. And
I
again,
have been contacted there by VT Digger. And I basically expressed the towns that we do not have control over our fire department or rescue. However, we wanted to make sure that fire and rescue needs were covered or answered there by this Act 250 permit for the roadway. Michael Murdoch has been working quite heavily on that. Providing info to the Act 250 board. And let's see what they come up with, but my recommendation is just that we support, fire and rescue. Rescue actually did not chime in, did not fill out. I do not believe that they filled out the questionnaire for this Act 250, however Michael did, so. So anyway, it's the nearest launching site is just over a mile away. If they do not have access to and that's a very popular ice fishing spot. So, anyway. All right. So, we will take it from there.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Joe seconds that. Any discussion on adjourning? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. We are officially adjourned at 6:09 PM. And what happened to my screen here? Break rooms, documents, notes. Reset to default. What? Do I turn this off? End.
I'll say